Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm coming to you on a Sunday afternoon, and it's a little bit lonely out here being a doll lover and collector. Maybe 2% of the people I come across enjoy the hobby as I do. I am in search of a community of people like yourself who's watching this video and can relate to the love that we share for our dolls. As you can see, I have more than just Reborn dolls. I also have Barbie dolls and Rainbow High dolls, along with silicone dolls and different variety of dolls, honestly. I just love them all, even this one. It's a ballerina, and she was purchased for my Reborn doll, Maybelline. I take Maybelline, this doll, with me just about everywhere I go. I found a way to take her and not have it so obvious. Excuse me. It's not as obvious because I purchased a bag, a handbag or cloth bag. It's big enough where she can fit snugly inside. And it just looks like a big old travel bag. But it's cloth and it looks like, I'll share it, but it's nice. It's really nice. And you never know what's inside of it. And that to me is the best way to travel with my doll without having to drag along a car seat, stroller, all those extra things. I even purchased a pack that fits against my body where she can be inside of it. I have that as well as the other things. But when I go for neighborhood walks, I love to have her in a stroller, or the other doll that I used to have named Michaela. Michaela's my sleeping baby. She was adopted and she was shipped out a few days ago, and her new mommy would have received her by yesterday. I have to check the update on the tracking number to see that she made it there safely down to North Carolina. So I found out that I love awake babies. Sleeping babies, I still have a couple, and I have a new one coming, but I don't know what it is about these awake babies, but seeing those eyes, it just means the world to me. Her twin, another doll that is the same sculpt as her with different hair, will be here on Tuesday in 2 more days. I'm so excited. Her hair is long and she has a bang and it's brown in color, but then the eyes, that's the only thing. I love this doll's eyes. And I looked on doll supply sites to see if I can order a set of eyes that look like hers to put in her twin sisters. Because her twin sister, I call her twin sister, but the other doll that's coming, same sculpt, has a different set of eyes, different color eyes. And they just, looking at the picture, it just doesn't grab me the way her eyes do. So hopefully I can look into getting those eyes changed. I'm looking into the painting as well as rooting and all the things that you do to reborn a doll, to buy an authentic sculpt, as they call it, authentic sculpt, and take the tutorial on painting. I want to go to a doll show, learn the proper way of painting, and build and make my own doll. Maybe in the future put them up for sale, who knows. Depends on how I do, but you know how it is. You start off with practice, and then you eventually get better at the art and let it grow. But right here, I have Tabitha. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tabitha's my sleeping silicone doll over there. But this is my another one of my dolls. She's a toddler size. And she has her teeth, if you can see her teeth, and a head full of hair. And I enjoy her too. She's much bigger in size. She fits a 6 to 9 month in clothing. And she sits upright. And I like what I got her to wear. This is a sleeper set. She's a little bit heavier too. Oh, girl, you heavy. Yeah, she's fun too. She's a whole lot bigger. And she's the one that is good for taking out on the stroller. Strolling her up and down the walkway and all, and seeing being out and about. She's much bigger. And I name all my dolls, but somehow I'm getting a blank stare, a blank mind right now to give you her name. Oh, that's her doll. I try to give my dolls their own stuffed animals. It just seems more cozier to look at them with their own stuffed animals. And of course the Barbies back there, I named just a few of them, not many. But I enjoy them too. Oh no, tumble. Move the table when they start to tumble. This particular Barbie, I went on a cruise, and it was the MSN cruise ship, and this Barbie represents their MSN. She has on the attire of the crew, along with the captain's hat. I love this part. I even purchased the captain's hat myself, and that's her. And she has the emblem on her shirt, the skirt, and then the boots. Check her out. Ain't she fly? Didn't give her a name yet. Blue eyes, blonde hair. Haven't given her a name yet, but I liked her. Especially when I was on the cruise and I went into the shop and saw that they had Barbies for sale. I was like, whoa! And the other part was that cruise, I took that cruise back in June. It is now September, mid-September, or later part of September. But back in June 2025, I went on this cruise. And when I was packing for the cruise, I was trying to decide if I wanted to bring along one of my Reborn dolls, which is the one I'm holding. And I decided, I was like on the fence about it because I'm looking at the luggage saying, okay, I got a carry-on and luggage that I'm going to check in luggage. And the question was, do I take the doll or do I leave the doll home? I'm going to tell you, I'm so attached that I packed this doll in her own suitcase. It was like a carry-on, but it had wheels, like a backpack with wheels. And it had a long handle that you can pull it. Yes, I did. I curled her up, put her right in there with 2-3 change of outfits. And so glad that I brought her along. I enjoyed this doll. The times I took her out on the elevator and people in the elevator were questioning, is that a real baby? Is that a doll? And I was like, what does she look like? And then turned her around, showed her to them, and they was like, oh my God, it's a doll. It's like, yeah, this is my Reborn, and then I'm a doll collector, and I gave them the spill, right? And you know, older ladies walking in the hall. Oh, she was so tickled pink. She was so overjoyed to see this doll. And that's the thing. It ain't too often you run across people who are so amazed at the artwork. This is a piece of art. It's a work of art. And you run across people who are just shocked, thrilled, surprised. And then I tend to offer and say, hey, you want to hold her? She feels pretty heavy. She feels like a good 7-pound baby, but she's like a 3-month-old. So yeah, this is my little doll. And I found out the connection. I couldn't figure out, okay, out of all the dolls I have, what is it about this particular doll that has me so connected that it's at a point where when I work, I have her in the car, in her bag, and when I'm finished my shift, I come to my car, I can't wait to pick this doll up and put her in my arms just to hold her and say, oh, I don't want to put her down. It's like, oh, I really miss you. I wish I could carry you with me, but I can't. Left you in the car, inside the bag. It's okay. I got you now. And I'm going to tell you what. When you find a hobby that you love and it makes you feel good, and it's not illegal, it's not breaking the law. Like I said, legal, breaking the law. It's no addiction as far as, you know, something harmful to your system. Enjoy your hobby. Most of the time it's sports for people. They play golf or baseball or basketball or football. I mean, everybody has something that they enjoy. For me, it's games, puzzles. It could be puzzles online, puzzles here, jigsaw puzzles, word puzzles, math puzzles, you name it. If it's a puzzle, I'm all about it. My late mother was into puzzles, and I would watch her enjoy her hobby. And she was at the point where when I go back by there to visit with her, she would immediately pull out the Scrabble board, the Scrabble game. She would pull it out and put it right in front of you. Didn't ask if you want to play. Just, she got some company. She got somebody to play Scrabble with. Here we go. We playing this word game. The letter tiles with the numbers on there to add up the score. Oh yeah, she had you. And she would be watching Golden Girls on TV. And I just thought, these are some nice ways to de-stress. She found her way of relaxing and de-stressing. Oh, and another thing she had was crocheting. She would actually crochet and make things, make scarves and make, I don't know what it was called, but it was something she crocheted that it was in a circle, and the bigger the circle got, she would iron it with starch, and it would flare around the edges, and it would go underneath a lamp. Like, let's say you have a lamp, and then she would make that scarf, that circle, and iron it and have it flaring like this around the edges and sell it. And people would take it and put it on their table and put the lamp on top of it and center the lamp on it. I used to ask Modell, my mother's name was Modell, can you show me how to do that? And I think I might have been 12, 11. The perfect time to teach a kid how to crochet, right? You know what she tell me? I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. I'm like, golly, I want to learn that. I want to learn that. And God rest her soul. She took that skill with her to the grave. But then there was another person who was crocheting a bedspread named Ramel. Ramel, she just had given birth to a daughter named Tawny. And I would go over her house and watch her boil the bottles. Because back in them days, let's say this was the 1970s, the late 70s. Yeah, it was the late 70s, mid 70s, around that time. And she would take her baby bottles made of glass and put them in a pot. And they had separators back then. They would put the bottle in the pot of water to boil and sterilize the bottle, sterilize the nipples, sterilize all the parts, and let them boil. And then at a certain point, let them cool down, and then make the milk, prepare the milk, and put it in the fridge, and let it, once everything cooled down, put them in the fridge. So while she's boiling bottles, she would come back to her bed and she would start crocheting this blanket. And she's passed on too as well. So I would watch her. I don't know how I ended up in her house, but I would be watching her crochet this blanket on her bed. And I said, oh, can I learn? She said, sure. She showed me a few. And I said, okay, I can do that. And then next thing you know, I was over there doing it often. And every day I went, the blanket got bigger and bigger. And she was still crocheting. And it was the perfect way to crochet because she was making a blanket for her bed. And guess what? The blanket stayed on her bed as she made it. Okay? She would, have it spread out as a top on the top of her bed. And at night, before she went to sleep, she was crocheting it while feeding her baby or doing whatever she did. So that's how I learned how to crochet. So that's another skill. And I said all of that to say it's a way to find, it's always someone in your life that's doing something you admire. And that's the time you have to ask, excuse me, can you teach me that? I want to learn how to do that. So that helped a lot. So I learned how to crochet. Puzzles from my mother, let it be Scrabble or what have you. The doll collecting, I don't know what happened, but I was asked the question, what make you so attracted to these dolls? Well, my grandkids, first of all, back in 2019 for Christmas, I think it was a big thing back in 2015 through 2019 that these Reborn Dolls was hot on the market. Oh, back then I didn't know anything about it. But when they got one for Christmas, I recall the excitement of how it looked. It was boy dolls too. How it looked to me like, wow. And, some kids, they all into electronic gifts. And they liked the dolls, but they enjoyed the doll for the moment. And then they sat the doll down. And I was like, ooh, there's my opportunity. So I picked the doll up, took a picture with that doll, and realized I want one too. So when I got home that night, Christmas night, I went online, I think it was Amazon back then, and ordered me my first Reborn doll. Can you believe the price of that Reborn doll was $120 something? It could have been $140 something. And today, that same doll goes for $37.99. So, I'm very insulted. But anyway, needless to say, I enjoyed the doll until my grandkids got to playing in her hair and used the hot curls and burnt her hair. This is synthetic hair. But she still had a head full of hair, but still it wasn't the way pristine as it was when she was ordered. But anywho, that particular doll stayed with me from 2019 up until last week. And last week she was adopted, so I shipped her out to North Carolina, and now she has a new mommy. And also the sleeping babies, I sent out 2 of them. So that's 3 dolls down. So I had 12 altogether. And I was going to share them all on this channel, but I just never got around to bringing them and laying them out and showing you. Today I decided I'm going to go with a smaller amount of dolls where I can thoroughly enjoy each doll, right? And although the one I'm holding now, is the one I spend the most time with, because honestly, she does remind me of my late mother. I finally connected the dots. I figured out, and that's when I went on to talk about my mother, because I realized that this particular doll, I found the connection. She resembles my late mother and my late grandmother. And I don't know, it's like a little girl version. The camera doesn't know justice, but for some reason, when I look in her eyes, I see more than just a doll. I see a lovely, beautiful piece of art that looks like it's looking right back at me, and it's a good feeling. And I know folks say, oh, something weird about that. And I just wish that I could come across somebody who loves the hobby just as much as I do. Don't find it weird. I'm at the point now where I'll let me say it this right. I'll carry her with me. If I'm somewhere, she's not far away, wherever I am. And today I serve in church as an usher. So I keep her in the bag on my seat or at the pew where I sit. Well, early before church start, I pull her out and I sit there and, just enjoy her. And I found myself running up to church members saying, oh, you like her? And they like, oh, she's cute, she's nice, okay. And they looking at me like, okay. And I'm like, I just want to share with you her outfit today, see what I got on her. And they looking at me like, okay, all right, that's nice. Excuse me. And they getting away from me. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me trying to get people to like what I like? It's almost like I'm craving a chance to run into someone who enjoy the hobby as much as I do. So, story time. I was in the mall. I had the Sleeping Michaela doll. Because I was told if you take out a sleeping baby, they look more real. Okay? And I was like, okay, I'm going to try and connect with this sleeping doll, which I could never connect because I can't see her eyes. But yes, I had another doll collector come up to me in the mall. One of them loved her hair because she did have beautiful curly hair. So her new mom's going to love her hair. And she was like, oh, she's so gorgeous. And I was like, thank you. But let me tell you, this is a doll, And she was like, it is? And I was like, yeah, this is a doll. You want to see it? She looked and said, oh, my gosh, that is so cute. That's so nice. That's art. Yep, that's art. And she was like, wow, I thought she was real. And I was like, thank you. And then she left. Then after a while, I was standing at a kiosk getting some service done for my cell phone. And another lady and her husband, walked slowly by. And I was like, okay. Then she tapped me on the shoulder and said, hi, is that your doll? And I was like, oh, yeah, you could tell it's a doll. She said, yeah, I'm into Reborns. I have one. I was like, oh, how you do? And then we struck up a conversation. I didn't want to let the lady go because I was so glad to find somebody who had a love for the hobby the way I did. She was telling me her story about the fact that she has two Reborn boys. She was putting one up for sale and then the person backed out. I said, don't be discouraged. That person may not have had the money or the space or something going on in her world. So keep it on up for sale and let others know. And I'm sure that somebody will be more than happy to have that doll. She showed me pictures and I was like, oh, he's so cute. So, yeah, the main point of this video is that I desire to connect with fellow adult doll collectors or doll lovers. And I say doll because it could be any doll. The Reborns have my heart. The silicones are interesting. They feel so good in your hands, in your arms. Cuddle babies, they mostly nylon, or what do you call it? Yeah. Look, I'm lost for words, but they have a head, but then their body is all cloth, and they call cuddle babies. I'm considering one, but the silicone feels so good that you may not even need a cuddle baby, because the silicone is, in a sense, like a cuddle baby, except they have more softer limbs, and they feel good, and they look good, and they feel real, basically. So yeah, I was watching someone else's video earlier today, and she's a brand new YouTuber. She has a few subscribers. I'll do my best to link her in the description, but I'm new at this. So I'm gonna do my best to try and remember, but I can't say that I will for sure have it in the description. I'm gonna do my best though. And she was talking about how she wasn't feeling well, and she just wanted to hold her doll, just hug on her doll. And I totally get it. I like holding this particular doll any chance I get. And let me tell you what happened. I may have mentioned this in other videos, but I'll mention it again. When the doll comes in the mail, if it's a reborn, cloth body, I usually take it apart. I take the head off, I take off the limbs, I take off the legs. I have just the cloth body. I'll remove all the stuffing out the cloth body. I'll repack the cloth body with sacks of beads. It could be polyfill beads, which is made of plastic, or it could be glass, and it could be both. Glass beads, which give the doll weight. Take a stocking, cut it, put the beads in it, tie it. That's a sack. Put that sack into the cloth body along with the polyfill, which is like cotton, but it's polyfill. You stuff the body. Once you have the body stuffed to the weight that you want, you take the limbs and do the same thing. You remove the cotton from the limbs, usually with a drainer. I'm doing a lot of describing, but there are channels that actually show the process, but I'm just describing it, because the reason I'm describing it is I want to explain why I get so connected to the doll. Once I finish doing these things, I refill the limbs with glass beads to give it weight, so that limb has weight. Then I do it for all the limbs, hands, feet. The head, instead of pouring it in, okay, the limbs, I pour the beads in, and then I stuff the top of the limb with the cotton, right? I call it cotton, but it's polyfill. The head, I usually take the same sack of beads, push it into the head, and then stuff the rest around it with cotton so you can fill out the face, make it not oval, but make it more outward. Then reconnect all the parts with a zip tie, fine little zip tie. When I get finished doing that, and when I pick up the doll, and then I put the clothes on the doll, then when I pick up the doll, after I did those modifications, it feels like it's got new life to it. It feels so real to me. See how her head rocks back and forth? It's because I put them sack of beads in there to make the weight so her head can wobble. Sometimes her shoulders, the weight, if it's too heavy, it'll sink and it'll make the shoulders saggy. Then other times I have to turn it upside down and squeeze her body to push the filling back up so it can hold her head up. It's a lot of steps to this. And I'm going to tell you now, that caused me to reconnect to a doll once I give it my finishing touch. It really does. It makes a difference. Because when they come in the mail, whether they come in pieces or parts, because sometimes you can order a kit and you can paint the kit, or it can come already painted and you can just stuff the kit, which I prefer because it's cheaper that way. Once you finish putting the doll together, you reborn the doll. And basically, it's your doll. And just like Spring Flower always said, your doll, your way. And she said at the end of her videos, it's your doll, your way. And I agree. Until I give it my finishing touch, that makes it my doll, my way. Then I have to find out and say to myself, I have to tell myself, okay, but wait. it doesn't matter if no one else accepts this hobby the way I do. It would be nice to have a community. I could come to the doll shows. The next doll show I know of is in November on my birthday, but I'm already booked to be on a cruise in November, so I won't be able to go to this doll show, which is local. It's not, it's like 2 states away from here. It's a drive. And I would love to be there, but I already booked this cruise, so I got to wait till next year. Come the first of the year, I'm going to look on the Facebook pages, look for the nearest, closest, fastest doll show I can get to. Kansas doll show I would love to go to, but golly, by the time you pay for airline and hotel and that price, that's the price of the doll that I want to purchase. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to drive there, have the money to purchase the doll, okay? Or the doll supplies, because, you know, they only just sell you dolls. They sell you doll supplies. You can go to the workshops. They have workshops where they'll teach you how to paint, how to root the hair, all that stuff. I would have learned all of it. Because I got a feeling in the near future, if this passion stays strong, I'm going to be getting into the business of doing my own set of dolls as well. Because right now, with me and modifying it, tells me it ain't mine until it's my doll, my way. Also sewing these cloth dolls, they are fun too. I even got a little diaper for this one. It's a preemie size diaper that fits on this doll. And it's just the cutest thing ever. She came with nothing there. So I said, well, let me give her, she got a dress on. Let me put a diaper on her with her little ballerina feet. I think she the cutest thing. Little kids like her too. Because when you do this to them, they like, oh, okay, you got my attention, like a puppet show. And it has my attention too, because I like the bow. I just wish that the mouth was a little bit more dark in the nose. But, you know, a doll's a doll. One day I thought of making her a cloth pocketbook that could sew right here and stay dangling to the side. Or some cloth earrings that can dangle. So I got ideas. That's my point. Your doll, your way. I want to be able to do these things to add to what's already here. Also, again, don't forget to like, hit your notification if you want to know the next time I upload a video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Share with your other dolly friends. Again, I'm looking for dolly friends. Oh, and another thing I want to mention is I love the walks. Taking the walks, which I may end up doing that this evening before the sun go down. Put the doll in the stroller with the baby carrier on top and go for a walk. I think I may do that. All right. So, since these are the early days of my recordings, I'm going to be showing more and I'm going to be sharing more. But I'm just coming on now to give that story time and express that I really desire to meet other doll collectors. Okay? Take care and bye-bye.